No money, no time. And this is such a trivial thing anywhere in the world. But here, it was about to cost me about $20,000. Konnichiwa minasan, Anton in Japan here, and welcome to Tokyo Renovation Diaries, episode number 3. In this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about my experiences with trash disposal. So I bought this abandoned house in central Tokyo, and buying it wasn't actually that hard, but renovating it was. There are cultural differences, hard to source things, and then there is also trash disposal. If you're thinking about getting an akiya or a used house in Japan, a free house, any kind of house that is not brand new, I think this video will be very helpful for you. And hopefully you don't make the same mistake that I was about to do. I'll tell you about it in a minute. So throwing away trash in Sweden, piece of cake, right? 10 million inhabitants, a country 1.3 times bigger than Japan. We have a lot of space, right? It's easy to throw away trash. There are trash cans everywhere. There are dumpsters everywhere. We have a renovation culture. It's easy to throw away trash. And when I lived in New York, you saw mattresses and just stools and sofas. When people are tired of them, they just put them out on the street, right? And for the same reasons, summers in New York, they're quite smelly, right? One of the reasons why I love Japan so much is the clean streets. Despite not having a single trash can anywhere. If you've been to Japan, you know what I'm talking about. Then imagine you have a full-on house, just filled, almost 100 square meter house with things. It's a full-on life, futons, chests, a whole kitchen, fridges. Like almost 80 years of things in this house. How do you get rid of it? The land I bought was a bit more than 60 square meters. Big or small, maybe I should say. And before renovation even started, I was in big trouble. So the reason why Japan doesn't have trash cans in the streets is because of a terror attack they had in 1995. The sarin gas attack in Tokyo subway by the Om Shinrikyo, a cult, injuring over 5,000 people. And since then, they removed all the trash cans in Tokyo. Let's say you have to get rid of a mattress or a bookshelf, for example. So you go to the convenience store, you get a sticker, and then you have to call the municipality. Hey, I need someone to come and get this. And usually you have to wait for 3-4 weeks. And it costs you 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks sometimes. Just getting rid of a bookshelf or whatever, right? Imagine I had a full-on house. And the municipality didn't want to help me at all. They were like, yeah, you can throw away up to 12 things. This was during the pandemic, so maybe the waiting times were a bit longer, and they were only able to take up to 12 items. I had a full-on house, and I needed to get rid of everything, right? Before the renovation could start at all. So that was when the nightmare began. I had this full house with things, right? And and the municipality, they couldn't recommend me private contractors, right? My plan was on doing this entire renovation on my own. And I didn't really know any people in the construction sector, right? My friends were in the fashion industry and kind of in the entertainment industry, and construction. It's all about connections here in Japan. And I'm in central Tokyo, no space. That's where the problem is. So I Googled in Japanese and I got 3 different companies to come here and give me a quote. This is, by the way, my first viral video in Japanese.
日本に来てびっくりしたこと。
日本が好きになった理由はいっぱいありますけれども、初めて日本に来た時にもこれを強く思ってたんです。
Talking about the trash disposal here in Japan, because it's so hard. And despite being so hard, They have the cleanest streets I've ever seen, anywhere. And despite the summers being so hot, like New York is smelly, it's dirty. Japan is even hotter and more humid, but it never smells bad. Very fascinating to me, but it put me in a lot of trouble. So the first company comes, and they're giving me a quote of about 1.5 million yen, which is an insane amount of money. They're like, yeah, we're coming with 3 trucks, we're putting them here, and then we'll get it all in a day, and you pay us, and then we're done. They were really technical, not really accurate. They were like, oh, we'll do this. And not the nicest people, I would say. Second company, 2 million yen, about $17,000. For not even a day's work, right? It's like Sicily, right? And the renovation of my Hokuo house, my Sangenjaya house, hadn't really started yet. And I was quoted these insane amount of money. Imagine the sums I had to pay later on, because eventually I had to tear down the walls, tear down the kitchens. I made it into a beautiful open space, right? I threw away tons and tons of trash, tons and tons of dirt, but that's a later episode. For now on, it's just the stuff in order to empty the house. This is also one of the reasons, in my opinion, why so many abandoned houses in Japan. And it's also one of the reasons why I got this house so incredibly cheap, in my opinion. Because of all the trash inside. No one wants to take care of it, and it's extremely expensive to throw it away. So I was really doubting, how can I get rid of this? A lot of people in the comments are telling me, why don't you just burn it? Why don't you just like put it on fire? Like, you don't do that in Japan. Japan, historically, Tokyo especially, has had problems with fires. Not only earthquakes, or like a result of some earthquakes, fire happens, right? Fires are a huge danger for Tokyo. My neighbors, they're literally 20 centimeters away in 3 different directions. Where should I burn my trash? You tell me. Never play with fire in Tokyo, Japan. But my friend Paris, eventually, one of his soccer buddies, is running a trash disposal company in Kanagawa, not too far away from Tokyo. He actually lived in Sweden for a while, the CEO of the company. He came to my house, full of stuff everywhere. He gave me a quote. Oh, this is not too much actually. 250,000 yen, we'll do it. It will take a day. And I heard this number. It's still a lot of money, over $2,000 just to get rid of the trash before the renovation even started at all. Because I was quoted like 7 times more than this by these asks from different companies. And you'll see how precise they are in how they throw away trash. They sort it. Electronics here, wood here, this here, that there. And they do it beautifully. So these are cassette tapes you see there, in order. Recycled and put together in different boxes.
If it was apartment, you will need a bunch of different kyokas and stuff.
Just imagine, I'd never seen this house empty, and I didn't even know where to start the renovation because of all of the stuff just everywhere. I actually took out all of the walls you see here. But the kitchen windows are still the same. Think about that in future videos. These are the cassettes, and you'll get a glimpse of some of the vinyls that was not in the hidden room that I will show you soon. In the garden to the right, I plan to put a sauna. But it turned out pretty good in the end anyway.
Så det är så här högt i tak. Om du går upp och kollar liksom vad golvet är på andra våningen. Så ser du hur mycket man kan ta tillbaka där.
Ja.
Typ en halv meter liksom.
Shit alltså.
I'm using this postbox right now, and in this oshire, I found a magazine on the wall, glued to the wall, from the year 1936. Showa 12年, because Japan counts the years in a different way.
ビフォーアフター写真です。
そうだね。まあ動画というか。
はいはい、ありがとうございます。
So the company I hired did an incredibly good job. 5 guys came, took care of everything, and they were done in about 6 hours. The old stones to the left, so you cannot throw them in normal burnable garbage.
I guess that's what they mean about.
You see, most of the stuff inside my house were not in that bad of a condition. So I think this company probably, hopefully, took some of the things and sold it in like thrift shops. As you can see, some of the things are still new in boxes. But I had a full-on house to take care of, unfortunately, and no space to store it anywhere. Japanese movers use the same tactic. They put a blue sheet on the ground, not to hurt the surroundings when they're moving stuff. You see these in elevators, mansions, and apartment buildings whenever someone is moving. If you saw Caleb's video, I saved the pink tiles. Beautiful, right? If you were about to renovate this house, where would you start? As I told you before, I had no chance to assess the house. What did I actually buy? Because of all the things everywhere.
Arigato ne.
And as soon as Masanobu's company left, they cleaned up the place. That's when I found the empty, hidden room on the backside of the house. You see the door in front of the tatami room there? The open one? To the right now in picture? You walk out there, and then to the left, under the staircase, we found this.
It's the vinyls, man. Jackpot.
Show me the vinyls.
This one is like fucking 15 boxes of them. It's like 2, 4, 6, 8 bundles in each box, man. Just found a record collection in a hidden room. Look at all this. Vinyls. Paris, what do you think? It's gonna be worth something?
Money, money, money!
Money, money! Seriously, someone knows anything about vinyls? We have like... So me and Paris, we just found in a hidden room a record collection of like, I don't know. Like, look at this. This is all filled with vinyls. Filled with... Anyone knows if this is worth something? It should be, right?
Something. And there's still more, eh?
Really?
Well, this is just the shield wall. Behind this, there's still space.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's just planks or something, right?
Do you see it goes all the way up?
I don't know.
It's a hole all the way to the top of the stairs.
Really?
Let me show you.
I will dedicate an entire video to the vinyls, where I'll show you the book, the archive that I found, dating each record of the collection. Almost 600 records. But that's for a later video down the line, so please stay tuned and ask me if you have any questions whatsoever. Right now, I'll do a quick Q&A with some of the most asked questions in my previous video. So if you have any questions regarding this video that I don't answer in the upcoming Q&A, please let me know in the comments. Next video will be a full-on house tour, when the house is this clean and beautiful. Look at it. I can finally start planning and working on the real deal, the renovation of my 86-year-old abandoned Japanese house in central Tokyo. Tokyo Renovation Diaries, episode number 3. Hopefully you'll learn something. So in this Tokyo renovation diaries, I also wanted to... Not that. I also wanted to... What did I want it to do? Most frequently asked questions. Thank you so much for your comments, and please let me know in the comments if you want to know something else. We have some questions here, and I thought I was gonna answer some of them. Will you be changing the stairs? Yes, I did. I built a beautiful staircase together with my Japanese carpenter friend Kazuki, who I'll meet in a few episodes. We built it in beimatsu, a kind of pine. Super beautiful. It took us a week working from morning till evening, but it was a lot of fun. That video is gonna be a good one. Will you be removing part of the doorways so they're tall enough for you? Yes, I will. I prefer big open houses, and on the first floor I lowered the floors and higher the ceiling. And over the kitchen is almost 7 meters over the ceiling. On the second floor I kept it very traditional and Japanese. And me, myself, I'm 187 tall. So there sometimes I have a hard time. Or I knock my head in the doorway sometimes. It's happened like 4 or 5 times, I think. No blood so far though. It's just a lot of pain. Did you change the layout much? Not much. A lot of small rooms, and they measure houses usually in the amount of rooms and not in the amount of square meters. So on the first floor I had 3 rooms, but I smacked all the walls. You'll see. I'm not gonna spoil too much. Will you break down the cost for the total project once it's finished? I will. Stay tuned. I know you're asking a lot about prices for this, prices for that. I will tell you one day. We're just not there yet. Did you send most of the stuff to a landfill? I did. Did you sell anything to a thrift store or anywhere else? This is a very interesting question. So I have this theory. Let's say you have 3 things. One thing is very premium, one thing is not so premium, something is very cheap. So 3 price ranges, right? In Japan, the cheap price ranges, if you're gonna throw them away, it will cost you money. So the cheapest way to get rid of something that's not very expensive, that's let's say you wanna get rid of a cheap chair that costs you 50 bucks brand new. And if you sell it, it's 10 bucks. But if you're gonna throw it away, it will cost you 30 bucks. So if you give that one away, it means that everything of value is 1 step lower on the value scale in monetary value, right? Which means that thrift stores in Japan have amazing things. Things that people maybe wanted to sell, they couldn't sell it the first week, they have to move. Time is money. And instead of paying to get rid of it, you give it away. It's a perfect saw, it's a perfect sofa, it's a perfect chair. It's something, like honestly, the secondhand stuff here in Japan are one of a kind. I wouldn't, like Sweden has great secondhand as well and great thrift stores, but Japan is one of a kind, I think. They really take care of their stuff and they're great. But it also means that things that you could probably sell abroad doesn't have value in Japan, which is very sad, in my opinion. And I sold some stuff to thrift stores, but I had so much volume, so unfortunately, most of it went to landfill. Will you show some treasures in a video? Oh, I will. I will show you the kimonos. I'm working on a video about the kimonos, and also the vinyls, and the chests I have. I also have tens of thousands of beautiful photographs that I will show you at some point. Does Japan have the equivalent of FB Marketplace to sell items? Yes, they do. They have Mercari and they have different Facebook groups. Sayonara sales. When people, foreigners come to Japan and then they leave, they gotta get rid of everything, right? Also Yahoo Auction. There are many places like this that sell beautiful things. I showed a wardrobe with white doors very briefly. It looked so beautiful and different. I wonder what kind of wardrobe it was. White doors. That's the Kiri no Tansu, the Pavlovnia Tansu. Very light, very beautiful to store kimonos. The right one you're referring to, the white one, is apparently very exclusive and very old. It would probably cost tens of thousands of dollars to make one of those today. Is the kabuto a real one or just for decoration purposes? If you saw my bigger house tour with family Nikura-san, they had a kabuto there. It's the Kodomo no Hi, the Children's Day. If you have a boy, you put the kabuto there as a decoration. And then we have a lot of Swedish comments here. That makes me happy. Hej Anton, en mycket intressant video. Längtar till det nästa. Arigato gozaimasu. Tack så hemskt mycket. Did you try to sell or donate things from the house, or was it all just thrown away? I had friends coming over, friends of friends, picking things, giving away a lot of things. But again, Tokyo, we have no space, and vintage doesn't really have the same value here. Okay, I would go out on the countryside of Japan, and maybe people with more space would have taken care of the things, but sadly enough, most of it was thrown away. Any history about the home and who lived there? By looking at it, the family that lived had to leave some years ago because of the earthquake that happened and got dispersed. I'm just guessing. No, they didn't leave because of the earthquake. We're in Tokyo. We're not in Fukushima, the big earthquake that happened in 2011. I know a lot about the family, but out of respect, I'm not gonna go into it too much right now. 1322. What did you do with the kimono you found? I have about 5 of these beautiful kimonos left here. I'll show you very soon. Please stay tuned. I also sent a lot of the kimonos to my family in Sweden, and I know my sister, who lives in LA, is using one almost every day, and my mom is using them as well. I also had a kimono collector coming here and having a look at them. But I'm gonna dedicate a full video just for the kimonos, so please stay tuned. And also the vinyls as well. One full video just for the vinyls is my thought. And if you're interested in the vinyls, you're free to send me a message as well, because I don't know what to do with 1 cubic of vinyls. One full video for that as well. And the next video will be a house tour of the house empty, which I'm very excited about. Thank you so much for watching. Anton in Japan here. In the next episode, I will give you an empty room tour of my 86-year-old abandoned house in Tokyo. Finally, I could assess what I actually bought, very cheap, in central Tokyo. Anton in Japan here. Follow for more Japan content. See you very soon.